Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm joined with
Nerdarchy Dave.
Nathan Nerdarch.
And today we're talking about Nerdarchy's top 5 wilderness character builds.
Jump down in the description below where you can find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, where you're going to get weekly tips from us as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Wilderness characters, they cover a large gamut, if you will.
Do they charge use tracts of land?
Yeah. So we're talking archetypes here. We're not just talking obviously I know guys, your minds are going to go to Ranger, Barbarian, Druid, boom, done, wilderness.
But that's not what we're talking.
And not the actual 5th edition archetypes, the different sub.
Yes.
Right.
So we're talking about types of character builds.
Yes.
All right, so you've got Beastmaster, Raised by Wolves,
Lives in two worlds.
Chosen by nature.
and the Master of Nature.
Yeah, so what do these mean to the Beastmaster, right? We're literally going with the dark type character from Beastmaster.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like books and movies and stuff titled that. Basically, it's like there's the Beastmaster.
So this is the type of character that's going to use minions. So whether you are the ranger with an animal companion, or the druid summoner, or if it's like David's character who just keeps collecting pets.
Yes, like Pokemon. Actually, you could be Ash Ketchum, and that would fall into that category as well. One of the things I'm kind of disappointed with 5th edition, there isn't a Druid Beastmaster build yet.
There is not. That's right.
Archetype, and one of the things I really enjoyed about previous editions of D&D, like 3rd edition, was you could cast Nature's Ally as a spell slot as opposed to one of the spells you had prepared.
Right.
Which I really like that that option.
Yes.
Now for your Beastmaster, one, you either have to be a ranger and have that archetype, or you have to be in a game where your GM is going to allow you to go out and collect critters, right, and be okay with it, and you're training them. So you're
going to just a large collection of figurines of wondrous power.
That would be another way of going about it. But either way, that really does take the DM, it takes some buy-in from your dungeon master.
Yes, absolutely.
And to not kill them at every turn.
Well, figurines of wondrous power, they
reform.
They reform. Your animal companions, you can always resummon.
You can get more. You might get a bad rap out in the animal kingdom, but you can get more.
Oh, you go.
So then we have the Raised by Wolves, or Lord of the Apes, as we like to call them.
Right. This is your Tarzan.
Tarzan, Mowgli, right off the bat, those are the two that come to mind, and I'm sure there are others as well.
Well, the one background literally does have the option of Raised by Wolves.
Outlander.
Yeah.
Outlander. Mm-hmm.
So this one's a little bit easier. This one you could be virtually any class within reason. Like a wizard would really be a stretch, but you could definitely be any of the other classes for sure. I can't think of. Yeah, Bard might be a little hard to finagle, but you might be able to kind of massage that one a little bit.
It depends. If you start a first level, you could just be really charismatic, but rough and tumble. Kind of guy.
Sure, but I was thinking
that would be a stretch, though.
The Bard is kind of an entertainer and a performer, and it really does speak more to someone civilized.
Maybe you entertain the treants.
Maybe
you take your obsidian knife and you make a wooden.
You know
flute.
what? Actually, that does for me.
That'd be really cool.
That sparks the idea for the Bard is perhaps you were raised by wolves, but you were taken in by Fae. You were mentored and tutored by Fae, so that could kind of work.
Speaking of Fae, do Warlocks with that?
Yeah. Warlocks is real easy. Paladin, Oath of the Ancients works.
Yeah. Just grab a stick and just walk right out of the woods.
Fighter builds could work as well. Maybe not a Battle Master or Eldritch Knight, but I could... I can see the champion for sure. Obviously the Barbarian's a no-brainer. and really with this one, it literally is about choosing, the right background. Either Hermit or Outlander would work just fine. And from there, you can dabble into the different classes, any race. And literally, it could just be, you were left behind. And you were taken in and raised by some kind of animal. Hey, you can make bullies if you wanted to, an owlbear, whatever. You can have fun with it.
Maybe a more animalistic humanoid race. Like, I don't know why hobgoblins want to eat you, but maybe they didn't.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You're like the hobgoblin chief's toy, or like son's toy, or something like that. And you entertain him and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe, but the thing is getting away from Raised by Wolves
Right.
when you have an intelligent.
Well, yeah, so let's bringing it back to center with the Lives in Two Worlds is kind of just like the Rangers
Yeah,
archetype.
this is the character that goes back and forth.
A hunter trapper, the guide, and again, this character could be a druid. This character could be a ranger. He could be a barbarian. He could be a fighter or a rogue. Like this is just a matter of skill selections.
Especially with your rogue, you could take expertise, survival, and maybe perception, and it's like, yeah, I'm really at home in the woods. And when the shit goes down, I can dish out the damage.
Yeah, anything can take one of the backgrounds and get survival.
Yes.
Yeah, again, some of the spellcaster ones don't really kind of lend themselves to this kind of build, but cleric, like you could do a cleric.
Nature cleric, fits and
Well, nature cleric also. I would think a cleric of travel or something like that, or wilderness in the wilds.
Well,
like, there's
the
probably some room.
the traveling monk, like the traveling religious person. That's a good thing.
Oh, you know what? That is. Yeah, but it's really specific. Like when I say traveling, in this instance, like you're traveling into the wilderness and back to civilization. Like
Yeah, that's true.
more so. So like, but there's definitely some gods that would fall into that categories that you can probably work it out.
The Lives in Two Worlds, it's worded that way because you're at home, sleeping in a tree or on the ground, as well as you can go into town and sell your wares or get hired for a job, and you have no problem sleeping at the inn as well. So like,
so the other class that doesn't really fit into these very well is the monk, which you made me think about, and I was like, well, what about Raised by Wolves? Like, maybe you make your animal kung fu style by watching the other animals, but it still feels like a bit of a stretch.
Oh, there's the animal forms in martial arts.
The term really comes like when your class is monk. That doesn't necessarily mean that you legitimately go to a monastery, you learn this thing. Perhaps you took longer to learn how to fight barehanded, but you don't have this disciplined order and this and that. You are an animal and you fight with your body because that's what your essentially your parents did.
What about the whole Lord of Apes things, like that kind of guerrilla style fighting?
Yeah, maybe it would. Like you just do a lot of reflavoring. Like you would, your skill selection, your background. Yeah, I think it.
Probably
I guess
a low
it could
charisma. Probably a low charisma.
Maybe.
Oh, but you're Lord of the Apes. So.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I would think. I mean, if you can wrestle with gorillas, you're going to smash a normal person. Like you're definitely, your fighting ability is beyond a normal person's.
Your style is much more orthodox, and probably not Way of the Shadow.
No.
And at first I was like, maybe the elemental one, but you know what? The elemental one would probably work, just not in this one.
Yeah, that's right.
So Lives in Two Worlds, so we kind of like fleshed that out a little bit. What do we have now?
We have Chosen by Nature.
All right, Chosen by Nature.
So this is the one where literally nature has bestowed power on you, either by your choice or not your choice.
Now this one pretty much is Scream Spellcaster, right? This is going to be your Warlock pack, Fae. This is going to be Paladin, Oath of the Ancients,
Nature Cleric,
Druid. You're tied. You're deeply tied to nature, spiritually and physically.
Or Elemental Monk, where you're manifesting the natural powers and the elemental forces.
Maybe, but I feel like it fits in that other one better.
Oh, yeah. The Master of Nature.
Yes.
Where you're bending it to your will.
Where you control nature, and it's not so much a gift being bestowed upon you, but you take it by force of will.
So that's the last one. Master of Nature. This is the one where you don't have that emotional connection, whereas I think with a lot of the other ones, you probably care more about what's out there. Not maybe some of the trappers and hunters that are out there, they might be doing it for profit, but for the bulk of these selections, these wilderness characters really give a crap about what's actually out there.
Whereas, they're kind of your Greenpeace, eco-terrorist type, sure.
Well, they're like the way they live their life and the way they think about stuff is all within the natural realm.
But the Master of Nature, this is the one who, like, this is your I don't want to say borderline villain character because it doesn't have to be, but like when you push it to the extreme, that's the kind of level we're talking.
When you said that, I thought of Captain Planet's villains.
This character harnesses the power of nature for his own purposes and goals. He doesn't necessarily have to care about nature, but he could. It's through force of personality and will that this one happens, which could be a sorcerer who has the elemental bend, which could also be blessed with nature as well.
Like a storm sorcerer.
Yes, exactly. Which he could fall under either. He could see it as a blessing, he could see it as a curse, or he could see it as his right, and he just doesn't really care that much. Also, we also talked about the soul survivor type character who has mastered nature to survive.
Yeah, he just beats it back whenever it tries to kill him.
And it's not so much that he could be indifferent towards nature personally, or at least he was until it basically felt like everything was trying to kill him, and he's just trying to survive. This could be a fighter character or a ranger character who gets shipwrecked or his plane crashes or whatever. I know you're like planes in D&D. His dragon crashes. It doesn't make it.
The airship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wizard in an airship. That would be actually a really great character. Like, where are my spell books? Trying to keep them dry and get shipwrecked.
So in essence, like the master of nature could fall into almost any category because anyone could be like that soul survivor. There are plenty of different classes: the druid, the cleric, the paladin, the warlock, the monk, the elemental monk. Could all be different archetypes that have different archetypes that basically take nature and decided to bend it to their will, and they don't serve nature. Nature serves them. So they are like the iron fisted tyrants of the wilderness builds.
They're just bringing order to the chaos.
Maybe, or
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of different villains and what they would actually say to the party when they meet them.
Mine.
Mine.
So I think that covers it. Just like a brief overview. Maybe you guys would like us to go more in depth into these, which is something we could do in future videos. But the only way we're going to know that is if you let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out funny memes over at Facebook.
Or you can tweet at us at Nerdarchy.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.